Hi, I'm John Pavlak. A $2 million night at Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs, a birthday worth celebrating at the Meadows, and some insights into who might win this coming weekend are our subjects on this edition of Ion Harness Racing Focus, brought to you by Trackmaster. When the fields for big races get behind the gate, one sure bet is that Tim Tetrick will be in the sulky. Two of his top prospects this week in the Sun Stakes at Mohegan Sun are Captain Treacherous in the Max Hempton Memorial and the undefeated Smilin' Eli in the Earl Beal Jr. Memorial. Tetrick spoke with our Ken Weingartner.
How's he compared to last year?
He's bigger and stronger, and he's carrying his speed. And he was a great horse last year. He's gotten faster, from 49 to 48, so that's pretty good. And he keeps doing whatever I ask him to do. He's fighting horses off really good. And, he relaxes when I get him to the front, and whenever he sees a horse, he really wants to fight him off. So, very happy with that. He's undefeated. He's win every time we put him in behind the gate, and he keeps getting better and stronger. And he was very strong the other day. Drug me out of the gate, and did his job, and went right down the road.
Tony Alagna will be a busy man at Pocono on Saturday when he sends out Captain Treacherous and a trio of sophomore pacing fillies in the James Lynch final. He took time out from preparations to speak to Ken Weingartner.
To come down from Canada, to come back down to the States and race right back. Yeah, I thought I was very happy with the way he raced and the way he came out of the race this morning when he jogged. The track had a huge speed bias the other night, which Poconos normally does, but even more so than normal. I think through the whole card, every winner was either on the front or in the two-hole, except for Sunfire Blue Chip, who was first over. So the track was very much playing speed. So regardless of where he draws, he's going to have to be forwardly placed off the gate. 3 in the Lynch finals. Nikki Beach is very happy with her the other night. She was tremendous her first start back this year. She won PA Sires at Chester, and then she had a rough start at the Meadowlands. She was parked the whole mile against age mares, and that start took a lot out of her. And I told Ronnie it's going to take me a couple starts to get her back where she was at, and she showed back up the other night like she should have.
It's coming back. Back to the Track. America's chance to revisit all that's exciting about harness racing will be back this coming July. During the weekend of July 5th through 7th, your local harness racetrack will open its doors to welcome you back to the excitement or to introduce newcomers to one of America's greatest sports. Visit backtothetrack.com to see what you can expect on Back to the Track weekend. The birthday cake is blazing with 50 candles at the Meadows this week, where they're celebrating their first half-century of top-notch harness racing. In thinking back on the history of the Western Pennsylvania track, built by the legendary Delvin Miller, we turn to one of his proteges, Tom Charters, who went from being a groom in Miller's stable to race secretary at the Meadows, and now on to president of the Hambletonian Society. He joins us via Skype. Tom, welcome.
Delvin, I think, always wanted racing in Pennsylvania. Wanted to race at home, as Mary Liv would say. And Western Pennsylvania had always had a great harness racing history with a number of good horsemen, as well as officials coming from that part of the country. So he saw it as a tremendous opportunity that initially I think they wanted in Allegheny County, closer to Pittsburgh, but were actually defeated in that endeavor. So Delvin was probably happier to have it right in his own backyard.
What was his management style? I would assume, being a man with so much success, was he a hands-on track manager?
He liked to hire good people and pretty much let them do what he felt they would do in that course. And he didn't hang over you, although he wasn't opposed to dropping a phone call and making a suggestion.
I thought he was a forward-looking man. The racetrack as it exists now as a casino, very different than what was in racing when he founded the Meadows. Do you think, like I think, that he really would have embraced this change?
Oh, I think he would have been excited about the prosperity at the Meadows. He thought that was a great thing. He was always looking for new ways for racing to be exposed to more people. He was great that way.
Give us a quick fondest memory of Delvin Miller.
Well, I think the thing that The people that would show up at the Meadows or at Meadowlands Farm almost casually, but especially during Adios Week. Everybody from Joe DiMaggio to Phyllis George, who was Miss America and friend of Jackie Townsend, John Townsend's wife. You get this, I remember the Secretary of Agriculture being there, or picking up the phone and it was Perry Como on the line calling for Delvin. So Andy Grant once told me his father got mad at Delvin because Delvin loved celebrities. He was impressed by them. He wasn't shy about introducing himself to those few that he didn't know, and became quick friends with them, and would invite them to the Meadows and to the Adios, and so it was unique. And thinking back, I'm a little jealous. We'd love to have that kind of conduit.
Tom, I think you've hit it right on the nose. Delvin made friends for the sport of harness racing, and it's a legacy that's going to last well beyond the 50th anniversary. You're part of that history. Happy birthday, and thanks for taking time talking with us today.
Well, you're very welcome, and I hope everybody, or as many people as possible, come out for Friday night for the anniversary party.
The Earl Beale Jr. Memorial, in its short history, has become a key prep for the Hambletonian. Trainer Tom Fanning has high hopes for possessed fashion in the Beale and discussed him with Ken Weingartner.
He's in good shape. He came out of the race good, and Smiling Eli obviously is the horse to beat. He'll be very tough, but we'll have to hope for some good luck. He can trot pretty good, and I thought he fit pretty well with those horses in his elimination. John drove him well, and I was surprised they went that fast. I didn't think they'd go that fast, but I thought we'd be pretty competitive in there.
Our intrepid handicapper Paul Ramlow is here to take a look at the Sun Stakes. Paul, after having the results of last week's eliminations to go by, does that mean that picking a winner in this week's finals is any easier?
I don't think so, John. Despite the fact that we know who the best horses probably are entering these finals, the post position draw is going to make it awful tough for a lot of our elimination winners. The one race where I think post draw did well was in the Ben Franklin final, where we have Razzle Dazzle at post 1 and foiled again at post 4. I think that's going to be a cold lock exacta one way or the other. And by the way, foiled again with a first or second place finish in the Franklin will go over the $5 million plateau in career earnings. In the other races, though, in the Lynch for 3-year-old filly pacers, I Love the Nightlife is probably the overwhelming favorite, but she drew post position 8. That's going to make it pretty tough for her. I kind of like Miss Kayla J. Fra, the New Jersey Sire Stake champion. She also set a national seasons record in winning her elimination and drew post position 3 in the final. In the Max Hempt, we're looking for Captain Treacherous to remain unbeaten this year, but again, he drew post position 9. That's going to make it awful tough for the captain. Rockin' Amadeus out of post position 4. I think he's got a very good chance in this race, so if the captain falters, look for the Jimmy Takter trainee to take the first place prize. And finally, in the Earl Beale, unbeaten Smiling Eli has post position 9. However, he won his elimination from post position 8 last week, so that 9-hole may not be the worst thing for him. Otherwise, look for the Jimmy Takter duo of Don't You Forget It and Corky, both who drew inside, to take a good shot at winning the Beale final. And one last note to keep in mind, last Saturday at Pocono, in the 14 races, 12 of the winners were either in first or second place by the opening quarter, so it's best to be forwardly placed if you want to win this Saturday night. I'm Paul Ramlow for Paul's Paddock Picks.
TrackMaster's Harness Pro is the most unique and powerful harness handicapping tool available on the market today. There's no software to download or install, simply and easily handicap from any PC, Mac, or tablet computer using a web browser. Visit TrackMaster.com to become a Harness Pro. TrackMaster is providing us with their Platinum Picks for the Ion Harness Racing Race of the Week. Here are this week's TrackMaster Platinum Picks for the Ben Franklin Final.
Harness handicappers, this one's for you. TrackMaster Harness Pro is the most unique and powerful handicapping tool dedicated to harness racing on the market today. It's a combination of all the features found in sophisticated handicapping software, all conveniently presented as a web-based, all-in-one handicapping utility. The only product you'll ever need. TrackMaster Harness Pro has these exclusive features: top performers, graphs, power ratings, sortable statistics, PDF race programs included. TrackMaster is your complete source for harness racing information. TrackMaster Harness Pro for the serious player.
If you've missed past editions of our show, there are 3 places to find them online. First, visit ustrotting.com and click on the video tab at the top of the page. We also have a site on YouTube, and its web address can be seen below. And we are also on the popular website Vimeo, and here's that address to visit and bookmark. That's it for this week. We'll look ahead to the Meadowlands Pace Eliminations when Heather Dodds returns next week for another edition of Eye on Harness Racing.